Welcome to class 25 of Secretarial practice. So in this class we'll continue with the previous part. So we are dealing with contents of prospectus. Already part 1 of schedule 2nd, so which matters we have discussed in the last class. So in this class we are going to deal with the part 2nd of schedule 2nd. So here it says reports to be set out. So the following report shall also be sent out in the prospectus. So the reports like the report by the auditor and the report by the accountant. So here a report by the auditor of the company as regards to the profit and loss account and the balance sheet should be there in the prospectus. So along with that the dividend or the rate of dividend, so which is paid by the company for the last 5 years, so that should be included in the prospectus. The second, it says if the proceeds of the issue of shares of the debentures are to be used in the purchase of the business, the prospectus shall carry a report made by an accountant. So accountant report should be there. So when the proceeds of the issue of shares and debentures are to be used in the purchase of business. Okay. So whatever you are going to collect from the shares and debentures when it is used for in the purchase of business, the prospectus should give the report which is made by the accountant made upon the profit and loss account of the business for the last 5 years and the assets and liabilities or the balance sheet of the business. Then the next is a similar report has to be made by the accountant if the proceeds of an issue of shares and debentures are to be used in any manner resulting in acquisition of the company and acquisition by the company of shares in any other body corporate. So which means if the proceeds of issue of shares and debentures, which means by issuing the shares and debentures whatever you are going to collect, so that which is used in any manner in acquisitions of company shares in any other body corporate. Suppose if you are going to use that proceeds, so in acquiring the shares of any other body corporate, so in this case you have to give the accountant's report. So I repeat, so 3 reports, or we can say the 2 persons are going to give the report. One is the auditor is going to give the report regarding the profit and loss account and balance sheet of the company, and the next is the rate of dividend which is paid by the company for the last 5 years. Then the accountant is going to give the report on the profit and loss account of the company and the balance sheet of the company for the last 5 years. So in which case if the business or the proceedings of the issue of shares and debenture is been used for the purchase of business, so that should be stated in the prospectus. Along with that, if the proceed of the issue or the whatever you are going to get it from the issue of shares and debenture, if that you are going to use it for acquiring the companies or any other shares of the any other company shares, so in that case also you have to the accountant have to file the or report on the profit and loss account and the balance sheet and the profit and loss account and the balance sheet of the business for the last 5 years. The next is statement in lieu of prospectus. So this statement in lieu of prospectus is also called as private placement. So why it is called as private placement? So if the promoters and the directors of the public company, so normally prospectus is been issued by the public company, right? So why? So they are going to invite the public to subscribe their shares. So in this case the company is public, but the company do not want to collect the fund from the public. So which means a public company, if they are confident of collecting the required capital from the private firm, so private firm means from their friends, relatives, like that. So if they are confident of that, so the promoters and the directors, so they need not prepare any prospectus. So in this case what they do, they are not going to issue any public or invite the public for the subscription, so they are not going to issue the prospectus, because prospectus itself is the invitation, right? So there is no need of having prospectus here. So in such case, what they are going to do? So in such case, in the place of prospectus, they are going to file a statement, so which is called as statement in lieu of prospectus with the registrar. So it is said that promoters and directors are required to prepare draft prospectus called statement in lieu of prospectus, and these prospectus, according to section 70, it says this prospectus should be filed with the registrar of the company at least 3 days before making any allotment of shares. Okay, so section 70 says that a company with a share capital, so share capital which is not issuing a prospectus, collecting the share capital by not issuing the prospectus, in such case, so whatever statement in lieu of prospectus they have prepared, so that they are going to deliver to the registrar, okay, so at least 3 days before the allotment of shares. Okay, so it shall be signed by all the directors, so it should be signed by all the directors, it should be signed by all the directors, and the statement whatever you are going to file, so that should contain the similar particulars which you are going to involve in the prospectus. So here in that minimum subscription need not be stated. Okay, so this is also called as private placement. So statement in lieu of prospectus also says that it should be signed by all the directors of the company. So this is stated as per your schedule 3. So now it says, if you are going to fail, or if you fail to follow the provisions which is there in the Companies Act, so that makes the company and every director who willfully permits the contravention shall be punishable with a fine which may extend up to 10,000 rupees. So we have said this statement should be signed by the directors and it should be submitted to the or filed with the registrar at least 3 days before the allotment. So sign should be there. So when you are going to put a sign, so it means you are responsible, right? So suppose you fail to follow the provisions, so you will be having a fine up to rupees 10,000. Thank you.